starting things off, we know that the first chapter, which is smart to not call it phases because you don't want to be compared to Marvel any more than you're already gonna be.
I mean, let's be honest. They're calling it Chapter 1 because they can't use phase.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. But still, it's smart though. Like I like it. You know, it's different enough.
It
But
keeps it nice and neat, doesn't it? It gives you a nice chronological order for everything.
Yeah, exactly. So
And that way, they're calling it chapters. They can make it sound, adult and more important than phases.
True.
Like Book of Boba Fett, you had to call each one a chapter.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
More highbrow.
And again, I like the title. It's Gods and Monsters. It's a good naming scheme because of everything we're going to talk about here. So I guess the first project that we've kind of known for a while, so we're going to talk about it first. That's Superman Legacy. This is essentially going to be our first live action project, and
yeah, because we got Creature Commandos first.
Yeah, it's really weird. I don't know how you want to do this because of what DC actually wants to do, which is kind of ambitious, but it can fall flat on its face if they don't land it.
Yeah.
For people who don't know or who didn't really listen to what Gunn wants to do, is that they are going to kind of try to weave everything into the DCU. That means live action movies, TV, animation, and video games. So that means the actors that play the character in the movies will also potentially voice the character in animation or a video game, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
But the way I'm being worried about this is because not every actor can voice act, and not every voice actor can act. So
I say, if What If has taught us anything, it's that not every actor can voice act.
Yes, that's why I'm kind of worried with this ambitious goal that they're trying to do, and then with also with what Gunn said is that you're not going to get for the example, since we're talking about Superman Legacy here, is that you're not gonna get a Superman movie right, or a Superman video game right after Superman movie.
Right.
It might be 2 or 3 years down the line, and that the Superman video game could potentially bridge the gap between Superman and Supergirl.
Right. And also they did confirm the characters in Creature Commandos, for example, because that's part of what the first part of discussion we're having here. They're animated. One of them is Weasel, and he's going to appear in more live action. They're going to go back and forth. So if you see Superman show up in Creature Commandos, it's going to be the same voice actor voicing them as it is the live action version. So their ambitious is good. The ambition is there. It's good. I like it. I like how ambitious they are. But there is a degree of, we've seen Marvel Studios, and look, Marvel Studios is the biggest brand out there, and people couldn't be bothered to turn in to What If, even when they were pitching it as, "Ooh, this is important." Trust me, there's a little bit of ambition here that I appreciate. That still makes me worried, though, right? It's a lot. It is a lot to take on. So
yeah. I mean, my only real concern is the games, because he said, he announced animation and live action stuff. He said they're going to do video games, but there was no video game. That's going to be at least 5 years out?
I mean, video games, at least 3 years of development is needed. 4 to 5 optimally, yeah.
I just feel like the whole video game bit's a marketing ploy.
You know what?
Look, buy this game because it ties into the movies. It clearly doesn't. You're not. Yeah. No one's going to pay attention to it. You haven't got to play it or even pay it.
It honestly straight up reminds me of the Amazing Spider-Man video game where they
100%. Yeah.
Well, it's with that. It's weird because now you add potentially another cook in the kitchen, because now the development team has to abide by the rules that the writers from the TV show.
And that's the problem, right? Yeah. Games take so long to develop. The story. If they do it anything like how Marvel does it, where the script's fluid and you can change it on the fly, it's impossible to make a game.
I mean,
you just can't do it.
We all play video games. I am friends with quite a few developers who work for some of the big studios. the one thing I know is the first thing you lock in is the idea, the story, and then you start building from the ground up how you're going to go in that direction. So if, let's say, I don't know, the Superman game is coming 3 years after the film in 2025, you're going to have to start on that game next year and lock in the story, and who knows what could change by then. So it is a little bit weird. Again, I appreciate it, but it is risky. It is bold.
Yeah, like I said earlier, yeah, if they get the best actors, it's not to say that he's going to be a good voice actor. So you'll have the effect of, if anyone's played Iron Man, the movie, the video game.
You haven't got to talk about that.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
You can see what happens there when they got Robert Downey Jr. Voice acting, and
it's a bit rough.
Yeah, that was that's a repressed memory, that one, or it was.
But so we know Superman Legacy obviously coming out first for live action in July of 25.
So it's the official start.
It is, yeah.
I don't get why you announce Creature Commandos and then say this is the first one. It's like, but that's the first one.
Well, it's weird how he announced it, because he said a first official start, but it seems like Creature Commandos will come out first because it's like already in production. While Superman, he's still working on the script.
It's so obvious that Creature Commandos is something that's been in development for a bit now, and they're just kind of carrying it in, being like, shove this in there, just make it fit.
We knew Gunn had a couple of projects unannounced, right? Mm-hmm. Before he took over, so I bet it was part of that.
100%. Which, again,
especially with the weasel in there, it's like, that's part of it.
Yeah, and so between Superman Legacy and Creature Commandos, that's cool, live action, animated. The big other one I want to toss into this part of conversation is the other big pillar, and that's announcing a new Batman film, but it's Brave and the Bold, and it's Batman and Damian Wayne. Now,
massive W. Big dub.
Yeah, I love this.
No, it's only a W if I can get that scene from the animated movie where you see Nightwing just manhandle him.
No one watches those animated movies. It's fine.
I mean, like 7 people do.
And all 7 people are gonna like dox me now. Just like, I'm sorry.
The thing with this one is, though, and I've seen this brought up, so you're getting us a Superman to the new universe who's going to be very young, and this is kind of like a couple years into his career. Batman, we're going in a complete opposite direction, where he's already had the entire Bat family, a whole lot of history, and he's even got his son there. Like, that's a...
Well, this is the thing, right? Is this a case of they're doing Ben Affleck again, where he's had the history and there's been robbers before, or are they just starting off with Damian Wayne as the first one?
That would be insane. That'd kind of be interesting. Like, I mean,
because we've had Dick Grayson, not a lot of times, but a few times, and let's again do something different. Start with Damian Wayne.
It'd be kind of weird, because part of what like with the character arc with Damian Wayne is like coming to terms with his own version of Robin. If you don't have that, then you can't go that way with this character arc.
Also, just to kind of bring up a timetable, for example, right? Let's say Batman or Bruce goes and trains with Raish. Let's say he's 20 tops, right? Damian's at least got to be, 12, 15 to don the Robin suit. So we're definitely jumping into mid-30s here. Like, it feels like it has that Ben Affleck effect, but since James Gunn confirmed, we're not dropping Superman into this universe and going, he's the first. He's like, no, we drop Superman in here. The world has existed. Superheroes are abundant. Yeah. Like, I kind of get what they're doing. So there's this hole we can fill in the gap with Batman and the story and the Bat family, which is my hope. But at the same time, I'm kind of like you. I'm like, it's interesting because I really like the Damian angle. But where does that leave the rest of them, Like,
well, they could completely pull the rug out from everyone. I don't know how they would keep it secret or even do it, but you'd be like, hey, this is Dick Grayson Batman. Bruce Wayne's over there just chilling. He's Bane broke his back and Dick's taken over.
Oh, that would be so cool. Man, that would be even more impressive if they could do that somehow. It's the good old Metal Gear 2 swerve where you think you're going to press Snake and it's like, here's right and enjoy.
It's like, this is where you get the whole Robin, like, how to be a good Robin arc for Damian in there. And then you've also got, you got Grace, and then he can become Nightwing afterwards and all that.
And the thing is, like, when I think about this Batman film, it makes sense why he said and why it was confirmed by Matt Reeves that they're working together. They're going to make sure that they're not telling or retreading any ground. So, you have Reeves Batman. He's young in his career. What are you going to do? Well, we got to go the opposite of that. So jump into the future and do... So, like, I like that they're at least communicating now, so we're not having the old DC effect that we've had for the last 20 years where it's like everybody's mashing up the same ideas because nobody's talking to one another. At least there's an effort here. So...
it might even be a case of Reeves wants to use Grayson.
True.
So they're like, all right, well, we'll just use Damian for the first one then. And then that's the way it is. But, they've said that Elseworld, they're officially using that now. The Elseworld movies and projects will be very clearly labeled Elseworlds.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't tie into the core story, you're going to know about it. So with that, you could probably still do like him getting a Robin for the first time. You just make it slightly different. Because whoever does this Batman movie is not going to do the same as what Reeves does. It might have similar elements because obviously it's the Batman movie. You're not limited, but there's only a few things you can do. So,
I mean, this is James Gunn.
So I get not wanting the confusion, and people could get confused with it, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
I'm still excited for it.
Same. So we don't want to spend too much time on this because obviously it's still very early, but we're going to start finding out more about these in the next couple months, really, because Superman's going to have to get off the ground. So,
because it's out in 2 years?
Yeah. And DC production time is typically a year and 7-8 months. So it's going to be right around the corner when we start hearing news.
But this is new flavor DC.
True. James Gunn knows how to operate the 1 year turnaround cycle. That is a thing. So I guess we'll find out and talk more about it